Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our full moon in Capricorn show. I am your host today. And of course, as always, the lovely Cassie is here with me. Cassie girl, how are you? How is life? How
I
is
am swimming in the waters of Cancer season. My friend, how are you?
um absolutely same because we love a cancer placement on this show as long as
Yes.
it's a women's cancer placement. Anyway, uh
True, though. It's
if
true.
if you disagree, let me know. If you disagree and you have some evidence,
Yeah, just
so
Google male
an
cancers. Like,
Aquarius likes some evidence that I'm wrong. But anyways, so yes, we are fully swimming in Cancer season, so much so that we have left June. We are in July. Um, Summer is here, y'all. I don't know where you live, but where I live, the heat is heating. Okay, the heat and the humidity. I'm in the south, so if you're not, lucky you. But we have our full moon in Capricorn happening on July 10th. We have Mercury in Leo, but Mercury decides it's about that time. We're gonna hit that retrograde on the 18th of July. Venus is in chatty ass Gemini, so all them smooth talkers. Mars is in Virgo. Jupiter's in
sure.
Cancer again. We're talking about swimming in Cancer season and how much fun we love. But Jupiter being in Cancer for the next year, guys. If you have any Cancer placements, enjoy that. Cancer is somewhere in your chart. You should know. But if you do have Cancer placement, it's your time to shine. It's your time to shine. Saturn is in Aries, and Saturn will also go retrograde on the 13th of July. Uranus in Gemini. We have discussed this at length at our new moon in Cancer season show. We did talk about a lot of the same patterns. Again, if you don't have to believe in astrology, but the same patterns that we see history repeating itself. So, we're no longer talking about a revolution. We are experiencing it because Neptune is still in Aries, but again, that is also retrograde right now. And of course, Pluto in Aquarius, the main revolutionary, is retrograde there as well. North Node in Pisces. So, um, lots of fire and air, not enough earth to calm it down.
Yep. Just enough water to make it messy.
Because why not? So this full moon in Capricorn, as always, I think with any transits, especially with the moons, notice where it is in your chart. And then go back to what your new moon in Capricorn intentions were. And that was way back. This new moon in Capricorn was on December 30th of 2024. Yes, I know I had to go back into last year, but I'm just saying that's when it was. So think about the lessons you've learned. Think about maybe even the practical, adulting that you've done and how you tried to balance that with your emotions and your emotional support systems, your emotional capacity to give to what you can give to, especially when it could be work related. So just a lot of those themes, the balancing themes behind Capricorn and Cancer, and we know it's father and mother energy all dang day. So, yeah. What do you think?
I'm 100% with you on all of that. I think be gentle with yourself on the Capricorn full moon because Capricorn moon is not a happy placement. It's in fall there. So because yeah, it's opposing where it is ruled, which is Cancer. So it's a as it should be. Cancer moon cycle is dramatic because, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So you're just like, I feel like it's hyper intense lunar
Mm-hmm.
energy and full moons are always kind of extra. So, it's okay for this one to be um solitary if that's what feels right, or at least maybe a little bit secluded. And to your point, it's a great idea to check in with where were you 6 months ago when the new moon in Capricorn happened, and give yourself some credit
Mm,
for how,
mm.
because you have come this far. We are here together, and it has not been easy. So you pat yourself on the back, give yourself a nice,
We
face
was kind
mask
of
or
okay
something.
right before that.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding. But Capricorn's about is ruler is Saturn lessons, and like I think it's between you've got the dead of winter to the middle of summer, like seasons change, what seasonal things happen, were there people that came in and out of your life, job changes, you know maybe abode, home changes, there could be anything, but that's a good span of time to really evaluate lessons and goals, and especially because I think some people did use the Capricorn new moon for their like New Year's resolutions, anything like that. So 6 months is a good decent amount of time, and also then release what needs to be released, especially at a Capricorn full moon. And if there were some things you didn't get to, that is okay. Maybe just make that assessment, and by the Capricorn new moon you'll be able to kind of reevaluate where that is, because then we'll have the Cancer full moon. Getting too far deep anyways. We are, you know the other day we were kind of chatting about this show, and I know we were looking at the upcoming transits, and we were a little like, oh. But it's like it's not that bad, you know what I mean, like in relation to us living and existing in this actual world, you know using all of these transits to our advantage, and especially during a retrograde season, because the retrogrades allow us to take a moment, because we all need them, reassess, reevaluate, and then once the retrograde season is over, it's time to kind of take all of those things that you really did, because a lot of retrograde is internal work, even if it may show up externally by triggering you with other people. A lot of retrograde work is a very internal thing. It's like what you got to do, because the lessons come up for you and they reflect back to you. So this current retrograde season we're about to go into, as I said before, Neptune is already retrograde in Aries. Pluto's already retrograding in Aquarius. We will then have Saturn retrograde in Aries. So we will have Saturn and Neptune retrograding in Aries at the same time, a couple days apart. And then Mercury will retrograde in Leo. So a lot of fire, a lot of fire, a little bit of air, but a lot of fire. And so this retrograde season, and we had been talking about how the outer planets are changing signs and now retrograding, and it's almost like they are trying to get comfortable because they've been in certain signs for so long. It's like, oh, a little dip in the pool, and now the retrograde is like, okay, just I gave you a little preview, what do you need to adjust for we really fully get into this and like we keep it going. So these aren't going to be easy transits, but I think living in the world today, nothing's easy, so work through it. But I think having the awareness of what these transits are, and again using your chart to your advantage, it is the blueprint that your soul has chosen at birth. So where can you best work with these? For those of us with 10th house Aries placements, pray. Okay. What I got? What you got?
Well, I have 12th house Aries placements. Actually, I don't have any placements in Aries. Let me back that up. But the Aries is in my 12th house. So you can pray for me too. I'll take it. I agree with all of course, everything you said. And um I think that retrogrades and fire signs are especially difficult because the fire energy is very external, and its nature is to expand outward and to make dramatic change in a physical outer reality, right? Like fire isn't something you can absorb into yourself. And but we have to figure out, I think this retrograde season is, and especially with the two new outer planets in Aries going retrograde, and they're both going to retrograde back into their previous homes briefly, is really learning what are we going to do with this passion that we're feeling. I think a lot of us are feeling anger over the external conditions of the world. Um, but the challenge, and I think the best way to serve your future self, is to not act out right now. It's to figure out, how do I integrate this passion that I feel into myself? How to examine it? What is its origin? What is like the deeper trigger to that? And what small actions can you take, and what habits do you already have that maybe are inadvertently steering you in the wrong direction? Like, how can you, I think, taking stock of a lot of that, maybe cutting back on social media because, ugh, like it's just like very toxic. And I realize we're on the internet right
Except
now,
for
but like,
us.
right. But like, we both know what I mean. Like the doom scroll, the constant being on your phone. Like I like to keep that meme in my head where it's like a woman tweeted something about, I imagine my ancestors like watching me and saying, "Oh, there she goes picking up her cursed mirror again. Look, it's made her sad." And so every time I like reflexively reach for my phone, I think of it as the cursed mirror. And like sometimes that helps me just put it down and find something else to do. And that's it. That's all the advice I have. It's hot. People are mad. It's crazy out here. Like, you don't have to go crazy. If you know what I mean, like you can try not to. And you can only control what you say, what you do, and how you react to your feelings. So focus on controlling those things.
Not only that, like she said, people are angry. Don't let your ego get your ass whooped. Okay. Like at the end of the day, it's very easy to get triggered in the world that we live in, right? I mean, it is, I mean, you can just like take a breath of fresh air and be like, that's not fresh. Like, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I
Why
know
is
that,
it smoky?
you
Yeah.
know, but it's, we live in the most overstimulate coming from a boomer zennial. And if you ain't, you're not a friend of the show if you don't know what that means and you don't know that generation, but that's us. Okay. The overstimulation that exists right now is insane compared to when we were growing up, becoming adults, teenagers. We were able to kind of our parents were able to kind of regulate a lot of the external factors. And now there is absolutely like no, you don't have a choice because you're bombarded with so much, and you can tell that everybody is feeling it. You can just feel everybody. And Cassie and I are we're magic, but being able to go into rooms and you're always feeling people's energy, and that's why it's also a good thing to regulate what you can for yourself, finding a center bit, even if you find 5 minutes. And I know if you are parents, I God bless you, but try to find some time to really just center yourself, because this is just the beginning of us being triggered. This is just the beginning of us trying to cope with a new world that we are trying to create, while somebody else is trying to create another version of what they think the world should look like. And so we have to be gentle with each other, and we have to be gentle with ourselves, especially as Cassie said, but especially when it comes to your ego, allowing yourself to take a minute. It's not all about you. A lot of this isn't even about us. It's truly about Mother Earth, but that's a whole nother show for another day. But it's not really about you. And with all of this fire energy, it is going to be very easy to let your ego take over. And really, as Cassie said, take that passion and focus on what we have been telling you for months, your community, your local community. Think about all of these things that can change for people in your community and how you can help, whether it be donating to a food bank if you know a single parent in your area. If you know an elderly person that may or may not be able to get to like groceries or water or certain things. I mean, I'm spitballing here, but you get the point. Like your local community is going to be the best sense of reserves for your ego to be checked, because everybody's not living a dream life, and a lot of people are struggling out here right now, and we all know that in months to come we just don't know what it looks like, and there is a huge level of uncertainty. Life is uncertainty, okay? Life is uncertainty. There are some things that are certain. Life is
Yeah.
Rubik's cube, some, you know. But lean into the uncertainty because it allows us to create our own future. We do not have to be dictated to for what somebody else thinks our future looks like, especially if that person might not even be around to see the whole future. It is up to us to decide what is best for our communities. And I mean, like, not just smaller communities, but all of our communities, whether it be the women together, whether it be trans rights, queer rights, Black people, Asians, Hispanic people, Haitians. Shout out to the Haitians though. Anyway, um, if you know, no, I'm
You
just
know,
kidding.
you know.
But and highly, highly encourage you to find your local farmers. Go be friends with those local farmers. See if you can volunteer on their farm and help them, because I guarantee you in a couple of months, we are all going to need each other a lot more than we need them. And there's a lot more of us than there is of them. I'm going to keep repeating that because Channy said it and she's right. She's right. We have to put that into perspective. So take this Capricorn full moon to really, I mean, and a lot, we have witnessed a lot in the past 6 months since the Capricorn new moon. I mean, an intense amount of change, of disruption, of false information also being spewed to convince us that the lives that we're living aren't worth living, and we need to get past that. We are stronger together. We, yes, I'm talking about, but in general, like, people really need to seriously look at themselves, and you need to look at your community and your family. And we are no longer in COVID days. We have to come together. Like, there, you know, I don't want to say like the United States of America, which, okay, yeah, but you know, you really have to. Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for another 20 years. Aquarius is about the collective. The collective has to transform for anything in the future to be worth it. Aquarius is also the sign of the future. And the intense energy that Aries is going to bring to Neptune and Saturn, and that Uranus is going to bring to Gemini, as we talked about last show, we had a lot of wars, a lot of and wars and conflicts, and those conflicts created another new life. And so we are in the middle of a revolution. It's just going to depend on us how it turns out.
That's it.
Cassie's like, and that's today's soapbox for today. Because it is. Because it is. Local farmers, community help, release. Maybe, you know, go outside and touch a tree, you know.
Yeah, get
Earth
outdoors.
Energy, get your feet on the ground, you know. We talk about water signs, get you some water. Earth. And with all the fire energy, honestly, you can burn a candle, you can burn some negative thoughts, you can burn anything using that fire energy. But as Cassie said, take your passion and channel it in the best way possible, because that's the only way. That's the only way. And with that said, I want to give a moment and a shout out to one of the best things that happened last weekend. So I do live in Atlanta, Georgia. And we got lucky. A lovely young woman by the name of Chelsea decided that she wanted to be able to watch women's sports in a bar and really focus on women's sports. She has done pop-ups all over the city of Atlanta. I have gone to quite a few, but officially last weekend, Jolene, Atlanta's first women's sports bar opened, and some friends and I went, and it was just an amazing sight to see. Everybody came out to support, and to be able to watch women's sports in a sports bar is amazing. To not have to go look for it, and she's playing all the sports right now. WNBA season is on. Keep y'all know that's my shit. But even the soccer, I think they had Wimbledon on. So I'm just excited that she's an Aquarius, by the way. Chelsea took her idea and worked really, really hard to be able to get her own space. And it's just been a great addition to Atlanta. So I do want to shout that out. So if you are in a town that has a local women's sports bar, go support. Everybody
Oh
watches
yeah.
women's sports. Mm-hmm.
On that note, as shout outs to Tanae's in my home, Tanae's home city, my home area. I live in Metro Detroit, but getting a WNBA franchise back should have never left. But hey, coming on back. I'm gonna put it out there in the universe.
Shock. That's right.
I want to work for the WNBA. You need licensing. You know you need licensing, people. Come on now.
Sure. Friend, it's happening. You already watched. Cassie gonna get a call. Hey, we saw your show, and the shock is we're coming back. I know it's not gonna be right, but what you got for us? Because by the way, they did win some championships when they were. Mm-hmm. So for those of you, I did see some people in the comments talking smack like, or a certain player had something to say about Detroit and Cleveland.
Ew.
But we know why, because what state you're in, but we won't even say. Losers. Anyway, but I piggyback that. Give me the Detroit shock all day. I know I live in Atlanta, and shout out Atlanta Dream, but I'm a hometown hero. I love Detroit.
Yeah. And anybody I didn't see, I try to when I'm at my best, I stay out of the comments section of anything I consume online. So I didn't dive into any comments on the Detroit Shock, WNBA, because I don't know actually if they're coming back as the Shock, but that I didn't see any negativity about it. But to anyone, don't act like Detroit isn't America's greatest sports town. I don't want to hear any other arguments. Like, you can't name me a sports town with that many iconic franchises. And I know the Lions are iconic for all the wrong reasons. Still fucking icons. Like,
they had a run last year. Stop playing with them.
Right. In almost every major sports league, one of the original teams. So you can fuck right off ever talking shit about Detroit sports.
We hockey town. We got the bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Also, I would like to shout out all of the creators that I have noticed very synchronistically, because I don't think people are planning this. I think everybody's kind of, as a collective, coming to the same realization, who are telling people to focus on imagining better things. Like, I've seen a lot of Black female creators bring up the point that, like, they're descended from enslaved people, generations of people who had to imagine and put into action plans to create a better future. But the big thing was being able to envision it. And like, the planet hasn't always been like this. Society hasn't always been like this. It doesn't have to always be like this. And these fucking evil people at the top will not win, because there's been evil people at the top for all of human history, and they all have the same death, which is their ego. So imagine the world as you want to see it, because it could happen.
Mm-hmm. It will happen.
Yeah.
Because we gonna be, like we have told you, we are the ancestors. Okay, we are now the ancestors. We're trying to determine what that looks like for us in the future. So the time is now. And we can all imagine a better future. None of us imagined having technology when we were younger. A lot of us grew up with AOL dial-up. And if you don't know what that is, you're too young to be watching this. Anyway, but, we, like, three-way like call waiting and like you know what I mean, just like so many different things. Star 69, if you know. You know what I mean? Or star 67. But you know, I'm just saying, like, Cassie is right. We here at the Zodiac chat line, we imagine a better future. And again, that's why we love coming on this show, doing this show for you guys, and just also encouraging you to really use your chart. It's your own blueprint. It's literally your blueprint for how to use all of your gifts that you came into this universe with. Your soul said, "Hey, boom, 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 boom. Here's a skin suit. Do what you will." That's what I'm saying. So, in honor of the full moon in Capricorn, just a little rundown. In case you didn't know, the Capricorn is known as the goat. That is their symbol in the zodiac. And that is because if a Capricorn want to do it, they're going to do it. And it could take them decades. But I tell you, steady up that mountain they climb. Okay. So, in honor of that, we are doing the signs as what? Goats, greatest of all time. Yes, play on words. That's what we do here. So, Cassie is going to start us off because she has have fire. She is fire and air this time because we can do
We're
what we
mixing
want.
it up. It's Cancer
Yeah.
season.
Mhm.
All right. So my Aries is the goat neighbor, RIP Mr. Fred Rogers, who raised a generation of us, wrote one of the only two parenting books that I give a shit about, and was an incredible role model of empathy and resilience, and also being willing to challenge the status quo and norms if it was in fact the morally right thing to do. And forever the goat neighbor, Mr. Rogers.
And leave it to an Aries to lead the way. All right. For Taurus, my goat is the goat of American Idol's Kelly Clarkson. Can't nobody tell me one, that girl can't sing. Two, that she was not deserving of being the first American Idol. Three, that she can cover anybody's song and they should
just lay it to rest.
But she is definitely the goat of American Idols. I don't think I have seen, I mean, small shout out to Cassie's birthday twin, but in general, Kelly Clarkson is the goat of American Idols. Argue with your mama.
100%. Fantasia, strong first runner up, but I'm with you. All right, so for Gemini, I have the GOAT Super Spy featured on our Gemini celebrity check-in this year, Josephine Baker. American born, but kind of French resident, actress, dancer, performer, and also fucking super spy against the Nazis, would listen in on people's conversations at the clubs she was performing in Europe and then feed that information back to the people who were fighting the fucking Nazis. So, Miss Josephine Baker, I salute you. You are the GOAT of super spies. Fuck James Bond.
And she was bi. Welcome to the queers.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. So, love me, guys. So, my Cancer happens to be a man, but I know
there had to be one.
I know, but I think it's fair. Okay, so this to me is the goat of all inventors, Mr. Nikola Tesla. He created I think like Wi-Fi, and he wanted to give away electricity, I think, for free. But he made a lot of money and died a poor man because he was bad with his money. But he still, if it wasn't for Nikola Tesla, I think there's a lot of advancements that we wouldn't have, including the Tesla.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I didn't know he was a Cancer. Interesting. All right. Yeah. It's funny too to think that Elon is also like he's the shadow male Cancer. Gross. Okay. For Leo, moving right along, the GOAT songstress um, you know, unmatched and I think unable to be matched voice, Whitney Houston. Again, RIP. But just an incredible legacy of music and performing and acting. And, you know, Kelly is an amazing vocalist. Mariah Carey is an amazing vocalist. But I don't like, I don't think I can say anybody on earth is a better songstress than Whitney Houston.
That's it. All right, so Virgo, the GOAT mathematician from NASA, that is Katherine Johnson. If you've never seen Hidden Figures, check it out. It was about Black women who actually did all the math for one of the space launches. So shout out to her and RIP to her.
Mm-hmm. Libra, the goat, you already know. Come on, Serena Williams.
Thank you.
Like, there's, I don't even need to say anything.
Nope,
Like, she's the goat. Everybody knows that. And that's all.
that's
That's
it.
it.
Here we go. The GOAT of drag queens, of course, for Scorpio is RuPaul. Thank you, Queen. 17 plus years on RuPaul, like for RuPaul's Drag Race. Right. 17 plus seasons, like all that.
I love it. Sagittarius, I have four on my list. So I'm just gonna go with the GOAT superhero actor, I guess, but Chadwick Boseman, who was incredible as Black Panther, but also like I should say like the the GOAT actor, maybe, because to have given the films that he did in the last bit of his career when he was dying of fucking cancer, like that's I'm gonna say GOAT actor because yeah, maybe you could argue there have been acting performances that were better in the history of acting. That's fine. But find me somebody else who was actively dying while they gave that performance, and then we'll talk about being able to fucking act.
All right. Like she said. All right, for the GOAT Capricorn, this man is the GOAT of racing, F1 racing. That is Lewis Hamilton. I believe he's won like seven. It's this man ridiculous. But of course he's a Capricorn. Of course he's like, I'm gonna be the best. So he is the GOAT of racing.
Um, our GOAT reader, Mr. LeVar Burton, another icon of PBS, and just raised a whole generation of boomer zennials to enjoy reading and appreciate being told stories. So thank you.
As an Aquarius would. And of course, this is last just in order, but not least, the GOAT gymnast. I don't even have to tell y'all. We know it is the Simone Biles, most decorated American gymnast in history, not world, but American gymnast. She has a couple, I think, moves named after her. You know, that girl was like, "Oh, this is too easy. Let me just make things difficult." So we love it.
I'm going to do
Um,
16 flips.
Right. So that is our signs as goats. Um, got a couple more minutes before we get out of here. We want you to know the Zodiac chat line is still open. Y'all don't text us, and it's fine. It's still there. So
313 416 9541.
hello, hello, because she said it. It's there. It's there. Um, we hope you have an amazing Capricorn full moon. Please get outside, talk to her if you need to, or don't be quiet, but really, really evaluate, how your first half was and see what you want for the next half of this year. I mean, we are officially halfway through our year, not our astrological year, but y'all know what I mean. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Moonology, Oracle cards, Yasmin Boland. We like Yasmin Boland. She has this one and another one. But for the full moon, we are going to do the oracle. Of course, the moon phases are on the back, and we have different moon phases: new, full, quarter, first quarter, waning, very
Blue.
different. Yes, all
Hmm.
of those things. Cassie, whenever you're ready, dear friend, this is your magical day.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Full moon in Aries, a
Oh,
fiery climax approaches.
not a fiery climax.
I mean, what did we say? All of that fire energy.
Ow, just hit my head on my table.
There's that climax. Okay.
Mm.
All right. It is time to see if you've been a little too much me, me, me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you have been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast, or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. Attune to the moon. Be nice, be kind, smile, and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. You don't have to be an arse. Additional meanings for this card: being assertive is good, just don't ride roughshod over anyone. Don't be an arse. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. I'm sorry, that is meditate. Meditate and mediate, but it is meditate. Sorry. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, this could be an issue. You need to have more fun. The teaching: the full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you have been too competitive or too blunt. The right people that need to hear that won't, but it's okay. As we told you, check that ego so you don't have to get your ass whooped or
Yes.
whatever that means to you.
Yeah.
But bless full moon in Capricorn to anybody watching or listening. Cassie girl, I love you. I hope you have an amazing full moon.
I love you
I
too. You too.
am going to go check my new moon in Capricorn intentions and see what I got to work on. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
should do that again. Find out where Capricorn is in your chart, use your rising, and just see what house it lies in, and see what comes up for you then. This year for me. Anyways, hope you all have a wonderful full moon. We out this mug. It's all love. Peace.